Welcome back to Superbly Said, our deep dive into advanced English vocabulary and phrases.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, and this deep dive, it's actually based on a really helpful SpeakDuo lesson.
Ah, okay.
And we really believe that to, truly get these phrases down, you've got to use them. So if you want to practice, maybe head over to SpeakDuo.com.
Good idea.
It's a great way to meet people, practice English on video calls, and really build up that confidence in your speaking.
Absolutely. Using them is key to making them stick.
So today, we thought we'd just cut straight to the chase. We're diving into some, pretty crucial idioms and phrasal verbs.
Yeah, the kind of expressions that really level up your English, especially for advanced learners.
Exactly. We're talking about the phrases that, capture real nuance, add that texture.
Right. They unlock deeper meanings, help you express things with more precision, moving beyond just the basic facts.
Okay, let's jump right in then. First one today. Go above and beyond.
Ah, a classic. A good one.
On the surface, it just means doing more than expected. All right. You might think, oh, that's like doing extra work, putting in extra hours. Is it just that?
Well, not quite. There's a subtle difference. Doing extra work might just be, staying late to finish something that needs doing.
Okay.
But going above and beyond, it implies something more, an exceptional effort, often initiative that wasn't specifically asked for.
Ah, so it's proactive?
Exactly. Proactive. It's like a personal investment, going past the baseline requirements, not just ticking boxes.
That makes sense. Is that internal drive, maybe? Like, I remember seeing this example. Sarah consistently goes above and beyond. Sure, she hits her targets, but she also mentors new team members, and nobody asked her to.
Perfect example. That shows real commitment, doesn't it? Or a manager might say, we need people willing to go above and beyond the job description, especially during busy season. It signals they want something extra, something special.
It really does capture that idea of intrinsic motivation, finding purpose beyond just the task list. Thinking personally now, has someone ever really gone above and beyond for you?
Just last month, actually, a good friend had this massive job interview. And I didn't just give advice. I ended up spending hours prepping with her, like doing full mock interviews.
Oh.
And then I even drove her there on the day because she was worried about traffic and getting stressed. It felt like more than just helping out. It felt like really going above and beyond, active support.
That's a fantastic example. And all that effort, going above and beyond, sometimes it can leave you feeling, completely wiped out.
Oh, yeah.
Which brings us neatly to our next phrase.
Yeah.
To feel drained.
Ugh, I know that one well. It means feeling really exhausted, emotionally or physically. But we often say tired. How is drained different? It feels heavier.
It is heavier, definitely. Tired is often, temporary. Sleep usually fixes it.
Yeah.
But drained, that suggests a much deeper, more complete kind of exhaustion. Like your mental or emotional energy has just been siphoned out. You feel empty.
Siphon out. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Like, if you were doing an IELTS speaking test, part 2, talking about a tough time, you could say. After that week of final exams, I wasn't just tired. I felt completely drained, like my brain just wouldn't work anymore.
Oh, totally. That feeling of having absolutely nothing left.
Yeah.
Zero battery.
Exactly.
It's a good reminder of, our limits. We need to know when we're empty and need to recharge properly. What sort of things leave you feeling utterly drained?
For me, it's often those really long, emotionally heavy conversations. Like when you're just listening to someone else's problems for a very long time without much of a break. I want to be there for them, of course, but afterwards, yeah, I feel properly drained. Need some recovery time.
I think a lot of people can relate to that. Okay, moving from how we feel inside to how we might appear outside. Let's talk about put up a front.
Ah, the mask.
Exactly. Pretending you're okay or strong, when really you're not feeling it at all. How is this different from just, say, pretending or acting?
Well, pretending is quite general, isn't it? You could pretend to like a terrible gift.
Right.
But putting up a front is specifically about hiding negative feelings, struggles, vulnerability, pain. You maintain this strong, often positive appearance, usually in public or maybe at work, where you feel you can't show weakness.
So it's specifically about hiding that inner turmoil.
Yes, that's the core of it.
Like in that example, even though he was hurting after the layoff, he put up a brave front at work trying to reassure his team. That must take a huge amount of energy.
It really does. It speaks to that, human tendency to protect ourselves, hide our vulnerability. But yeah, maintaining that facade can be exhausting. Have you ever had to put up a front?
Oh, definitely. I vividly remember walking into my final university exams. On the outside, I was trying to act super confident, smiling, saying hi to people cheerfully. Inside, total mess, just knots of anxiety, completely unsure if I'd done enough revision. Classic putting up a front.
Oh, I've been there. Exams are prime territory for that. And sometimes, taking on too much, maybe while putting up that front, leads right into our next phrase, overextend oneself.
Right. Sounds like getting in too deep, committing to too much time, energy, maybe even money. How is this different from just being busy or having a lot on your plate? Because those sound similar.
They do sound similar, but there's a key difference. Busy or having a lot on your plate could just mean your schedule is full, but maybe it's manageable. You're coping.
Okay.
Overextending oneself, though, implies you've gone beyond your actual capacity. You stretched yourself too thin, and it usually leads to negative consequences.
Ah, the consequences. Like burnout.
Exactly. Burnout, making mistakes, feeling totally exhausted. You've pushed past what's sustainable for you.
Got it. So if your boss suggests another big project and you're already swamped, you might think, uh-oh, if I say yes to this, I'll definitely overextend myself.
Precisely. That's the moment of realization. You often see it when people maybe join too many committees or just can't say no to requests.
It's a real modern trap, isn't it? This constant pressure to do more. Reminds us we need to respect our limits. Have you ever personally overextended yourself?
Oh, absolutely. I remember one summer, somehow, I managed to agree to help 3 different friends move apartments, all in the same week.
3? Oh, wow.
Yeah. By the end of that week, I was just wrecked. Physically, mentally, completely drained, totally overextended. A poor decision.
That sounds brutal. Easy to do when you're trying to be a good friend, though.
Tell me about it.
And sometimes maybe we overextend because we haven't really been honest with people or even ourselves about our limits, which kind of leads us to the next one, to open up to someone.
Yeah, this is about vulnerability, isn't it?
It is. Starting to share your feelings honestly. It feels deeper than just sharing thoughts or talking about problems. What's the nuance there?
Well, you can share thoughts on an intellectual level, right? Or talk about problems quite superficially. But opening up, it implies a much deeper level of trust and real emotional honesty.
Okay.
It often happens gradually, maybe after some hesitation. It feels like a significant step in a relationship, showing real vulnerability.
Because it signals a deeper connection, a real intimacy. Like for an IELTS question about a tough choice, you might say, it took me a while, but I finally opened up to my parents about wanting to change careers.
Yeah.
It suggests sharing the feelings behind it all.
Exactly, getting to the emotional core. It really highlights that need for authentic connection and the courage it takes.
Yeah.
Who do you feel you can really, truly open up to?
For me, it's probably my closest friends, the ones I've known forever. There's just this history of understanding,
Yeah.
Never any judgment. So I feel safe opening up to them about pretty much anything. Having that is, well, invaluable.
It really is. And sometimes opening up involves understanding your own needs, which links to our next phrase, learning to set boundaries.
Ah, yes. Such a crucial life skill. Defining your personal limits with your time. In relationships, it feels more active than just having limits or saying no. How does it go further?
It's definitely active. Having limits might just be something you think about. But setting boundaries involves first knowing your limits, then actively communicating them.
Right.
And crucially, enforcing them. It's about protecting your well-being, your emotional health, maintaining respect. You're effectively drawing a line in the sand.
Communication and enforcement. Those are the key actions, like that example of a colleague telling their boss, look, I need to set a boundary around evenings. I won't be checking email after 6 p.m.
Exactly. Or you might hear someone say, setting boundaries really helped her avoid burnout and protect her mental health. It's about self-preservation.
Is setting boundaries something you find easy, or is it something you've had to consciously work on?
Oh, definitely had to work on it. Still do, sometimes. It's not always easy, especially saying no without feeling guilty. But I'm getting better at it. It's a practice.
I think that's true for a lot of us. And when you do set those boundaries, it can create space for healthier interactions. Which brings us to validate someone's feelings.
This is so important. Making someone feel accepted, understood. But it's really different from agreeing with them or giving advice, isn't it?
Massively different. That's a critical point. Validating feelings just means acknowledging that their emotions are real and legitimate. Full stop.
Right.
Even if you don't see things the same way or you don't fully get why they feel that way, it's pure empathy. Making them feel heard, seen, not trying to fix it, not arguing.
Exactly. It's not about agreeing with their story or their interpretation, just acknowledging the emotion itself, saying something simple like, I hear that you feel really frustrated right now, and that's okay. Or, I can see this is really upsetting for you.
Yeah. And in a work context, for instance, validating a team member's feelings first before jumping into problem solving can build so much trust.
Absolutely. It de-escalates things too. Do you think people generally need that kind of validation?
I think we all do, honestly. Just having someone acknowledge that what you're feeling is real and okay, it's powerful. It fosters connection way more effectively than just jumping in with solutions sometimes.
Couldn't agree more. So fundamental. Okay, linked to managing our own energy and well-being, our next phrase is a bit metaphorical. Fill one's own cup.
Ah, yes, the self-care mantra.
That's the one. Taking care of yourself first, so you can then help others. How does the cup metaphor make it different from just general self-care or prioritizing yourself?
The metaphor is absolutely key, I think. It emphasizes replenishment. You have this finite resource, your energy, your emotional capacity represented by the cup.
Right.
And you literally cannot give to others. You can't pour out support if your own cup is empty. It makes self-care a prerequisite for being able to help others sustainably.
Exactly that phrase. You can't pour from an empty cup. It captures it perfectly.
Yeah. So in an IELTS context, maybe talking about managing stress, to avoid burnout, I realized I have to consciously fill my own cup first. It paints a clear picture.
Or a good manager might say to their team on a Friday, okay, everyone, remember to fill your own cup this weekend. Rest up so we're fresh for next week.
We can hope. It really frames self-care not as selfish, but as necessary. What do you do personally to fill your own cup?
For me, it's often quiet walks, preferably in nature, near water, if possible. That really grounds me. And getting lost in a good book, those things properly recharge me, fill the cup back up.
Sounds lovely. Very restorative.
Yeah.
Okay, on to our final phrase. This one feels maybe a bit more contemporary, or at least it describes a dynamic people talk about more now. Trauma dump on someone.
Ooh, yes, this can be awkward and difficult.
You really can. It means overwhelming someone by suddenly sharing really intense emotional problems or trauma, often completely out of the blue without any warning. How is it different from just venting or complaining?
That's a good question. Venting or complaining is usually about like daily frustrations or annoyances, and there's often a bit of back and forth. You might be looking for sympathy or a bit of advice. It tends to be more reciprocal.
Okay, yeah.
Trauma dumping, though. It specifically implies sharing really deep, heavy, intense stuff, often actual trauma, without asking if the other person is okay to hear it, or if they even have the capacity at that moment. It's unsolicited and overwhelming.
So it lacks that reciprocity, that checking in first. It's kind of a one-sided unload.
And it can leave the listener feeling really burdened, uncomfortable, maybe even ambushed.
Ambushed is a good word for it.
Yeah. It's just not really fair, is it? To trauma dump on a colleague, say, without asking if they're in the right headspace for it.
No, it highlights that need for emotional consent, really. Now, thinking about the other person. Have you ever been on the receiving end of an unexpected trauma dump?
Unfortunately, yes. I remember meeting someone totally new at a party once, literally just introduced, and within about 5 minutes they launched into this incredibly detailed, really difficult life story. Very heavy stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it felt intense, and definitely like a trauma dump, given we'd just met. Left me feeling a bit stunned, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine. Really highlights the need for mindfulness and just basic consideration in how we share, doesn't it?
Absolutely does. Check in first.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot of ground there, some really powerful, nuanced phrases. Now, to help make sure these ideas really stick, let's do a quick quiz.
All right, sounds good. Test ourselves.
Okay, first question. What does it mean to go above and beyond in a professional setting? Is it option A, to exceed expectations by taking extra effort? Option B, to complete all your basic tasks without delay? Or option C, to delegate work so you have more time? Feel free to pause if you need a moment to think. Okay, the correct answer is A, to exceed expectations by taking extra effort.
That's right. Remember, going above and beyond involves that extra, often unsolicited initiative, like Sarah mentoring the new team members just because she saw a need.
Exactly. Okay, question 2. What does it mean when someone says they feel drained after an event? Is it option A, they were physically energized by the experience? Option B, they were emotionally and mentally exhausted? Or option C, they were left feeling excited and awake? You can pause here if you need a moment to think about the answer. All right, the answer is B. They were emotionally and mentally exhausted.
Yep. To feel drained is that deep, profound exhaustion, remember, not just tired. Like after those super intense final exams we talked about, completely empty.
Got it. Question 3. What does it mean to put up a front during a hard time? Is it option A, to hide your emotions and pretend you're fine? Option B, to openly ask for help from others? Or option C, to aggressively defend your actions? Go ahead and pause if you need a moment. And the correct answer is A, to hide your emotions and pretend you're fine.
That's the one. Putting up a front is wearing that mask, like acting confident before exams, even when you're feeling really anxious inside. Hiding the reality.
Perfect. Moving on to question 4. If you overextend yourself, what have you likely done? Option A, you've stayed within your personal limits. Option B, you've carefully scheduled all your free time. Or option C, you've committed to more than you can handle. Feel free to pause here if you need a moment to think about the answer. Okay, the answer is C. You've committed to more than you can handle.
That's it. To overextend oneself means going beyond your capacity, pushing past your limits, like agreeing to help 3 friends move in 1 week. Too much.
Definitely too much.
Yeah.
Okay, question 5. What happens when you open up to someone about your life? Is it option A, you argue about your personal values? Option B, you avoid discussing emotional issues? Or option C, you share personal thoughts and emotions? Go ahead and pause if you need a moment to think. The correct answer is C. You share personal thoughts and emotions.
Correct. Opening up is about that deeper, honest, vulnerable sharing, getting real about your feelings, like opening up to that trusted friend who never judges.
Exactly. Question 6. What does it mean to set boundaries in a relationship? Option A, to agree with everything the other person says. Option B, to define your personal emotional limits. Or option C, to avoid spending too much time with friends. Feel free to pause here if you need a moment to think about the answer. The correct answer is to define your personal emotional limits.
Yes. Setting boundaries is that active process of communicating and enforcing your limits to protect yourself and maintain respect. Drawing that line.
Nicely summarized. Okay, question 7. What does it mean to validate someone's feelings during a conversation? Option A, to offer practical advice quickly. Option B, to make them feel heard and understood. Or option C, to insist that your view is more accurate. Go ahead and pause if you need a moment.
Okay, the correct answer is B, to make them feel heard and understood.
That's right. Validating feelings is all about acknowledging their emotional reality, saying, I hear you, showing empathy even if you don't agree with their take on things. Absolutely. Okay, last question, number 8. What does the expression fill your own cup suggest?
Is it option A, to prioritize your well-being before helping others? Option B, to share your energy with others immediately? Or option C, to put other people's needs before your own? Feel free to pause here if you need a moment to think about the answer. And the correct answer is A, to prioritize your well-being before helping others.
Spot on. Fill your own cup. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's about replenishing yourself first so you can effectively support others, like taking those walks or reading that book.
Fantastic. And that wraps up our quiz and our deep dive for today. You know, getting a handle on these advanced phrases, it really is a game changer, isn't it? For expressing yourself with more precision, more depth, real nuance.
It absolutely is. And think about it. These phrases do more than just state facts. They convey the texture of an experience, how something felt, what it really meant emotionally.
Yeah, exactly.
It just opens up a whole different level of communication, of connection, I think.
It's so true. Well, we really hope you enjoyed digging into these powerful phrases with us and found this deep dive useful. And please remember, the best way to make these stick is to actually use them.
Get talking.
Yeah. So why not head over to SpeakDuo.com, practice your English speaking, meet real people from all over the world, put these phrases into action.
Great way to build confidence.
Definitely. And hey, if you found this session helpful, we'd be really grateful if you'd consider leaving us a 5-star review wherever you listen. It genuinely helps other learners find us.
We'd really appreciate that.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Keep exploring the amazing, sometimes tricky depths of the English language. And maybe think about what new nuance you'll try to express this week using one of these phrases. Could be a good challenge.
Good thought.
Until next time.